Bing and then Bing. Oh, yeah, there we go, baby. There it is. Guys, hello. Welcome to the WULFF DEN Podcast. I hope you on YouTube are joining us right now. Also on Twitch. Hey. How you doing, everybody?
How you doing?
Hello. Good to see you. It's us.
Hey.
It's just us.
Just us.
Just relax.
Same two guys who are always on this stupid show.
Stupid sodding show. Hello.
Shouldn't say that. Tell my daughter not to say stupid.
Stupid.
But she loves saying stupid.
She heard me say stupid and yelled at me.
Yes. Because she knows it's not a nice word to say.
What does she say it about?
And anything and everything.
I call a lot of things stupid.
Yes.
You know what it is?
We all call a lot of things stupid.
We can blame our mother.
Yes.
She calls everything stupid.
Including us.
Including us.
But now she also, my daughter also yells at our mom for saying stupid.
Our mother called me stupid in a video.
Yes.
And then somebody in the comments said, LOL, she called you stupid. And then mom commented back and said, I didn't say he was stupid. I said he was being stupid.
Better.
There's a big difference, apparently.
Difference.
Anyway, hello, everybody.
Hey.
Thanks for being here. Once again, we're streaming to YouTube also. Trying to work out some of the kinks.
Yeah.
One of the kinks being we do like a 8-minute, like we're going live soon, so that people can gather around, come in, doors open at 8, but show starts at like 8:08.
Yeah, just like every band you've ever seen.
Yeah. But YouTube doesn't really like that because we have to edit the beginning out, and sometimes that breaks everything, and we used to deal with that back when we used to stream on YouTube. So I'm just gonna hit live on YouTube when we're ready to go. So it just is what it is. So anyway, thanks for being here. Today we got many a topic. The big one being digital games and how big executives don't think we own them.
Yeah. No, you don't. You don't deserve to own them because you're all filthy, filthy pigs.
Other things too, there's a new Ayaneo coming out that's gonna have the biggest air quotes SteamOS.
Yes. And we will get into that. And speaking of Steam, Valve is doing some not very Valve-like things recently with community-related games.
And I think that, so I was on a what the Fonjaloop did I, okay, I don't know what I did. Yeah. I was on a podcast I was on the Steam Deck podcast recently. And on it, I talked about Valve shutting down that project in relation to why I don't think the Ayaneo Next has SteamOS on it. But anyway, there's a lot more other stuff we can talk about.
Yes.
But first, we'll thanks to people like Syker. Thanks for the 15 months. Lazaga. Thanks for the 5 months. I think that's like lasagna.
Sounds about right.
Lazaga.
Yeah.
Funyuns are tasty. Thanks for the 11 months. And Bloody FPS. Thanks for the 21 months. Wagwan the WULFF Den Man. Fem big ups from the UK. Booyakasha. I need a boo.
I agree with everything you just said.
Do you speak whatever the fuck that was?
Of course, don't you?
No.
So you didn't do well in our foreign language classes in high school.
No, I did very bad. Anyway, all right. Well, I guess we'll just jump right into it. We'll go right into the why does it say I'm offline on Twitch when I'm looking at the chat right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at our live stream right now. Before we get into it though, Bob, we are getting free games from Nintendo.
Wait, really?
It's at the top.
Oh, okay.
We got new additions to the Switch Online Plus expansion pack for all you Game Boy Advance Game Boy and girls out there. Golden Sun and Golden Sun The Lost Age are coming to Switch Online Plus expansion pack tomorrow.
I'm a Game Boy or girl.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to stream to this computer. Oh, this is good. We're getting Golden Sun. Yay.
We're getting the Golden Sun games, everybody.
People have been waiting for this.
Yes.
Golden Sun hasn't had a new installment in God knows how long.
Since the Game Boy Advance, I think.
Yeah, there's 1 and 2. So, these 2 games. These are the only 2 games.
Yes.
So we haven't seen these games since then. So here we are. Yay. Everybody was excited when we saw Smash Bros. Ultimate, thinking we were going to get Golden Sun's characters. Instead, we got an assist trophy.
Yes.
But now here we go. Nintendo is acknowledging Golden Sun once again. So I'm not going to play these games. But
if you like Golden Sun,
I appreciate
then you can play them.
I appreciate that Nintendo is supporting the Game Boy Advance games on Nintendo Switch Online because it's the easiest way to play Game Boy Advance games right now. I would love some Boktai. I'll play some Boktai.
How would they make that work though? Because that needs the sensor for the sun.
IR.
Oh yeah.
Just
you forget
that.
That would be weird though, because IR is on the bottom of the controller.
I mean, it's not like it worked good on the Game Boy Advance anyway. And also, thank you to Majin Jameson for the 23 months. I appreciate it. All right, let's go right into Ubisoft wants gamers to be comfortable not owning games anymore.
Yes.
You don't own them.
Let me just open that.
Being a digital-only guy, he's speaking directly to me.
Yes. Same.
Also,
and I feel personally attacked.
I'm a mostly digital guy right now.
Yeah.
Also, notable thief of video games.
Yeah, because crime is cool. An executive at Assassin's Creed maker Ubisoft said that gamers will need to get comfortable not owning their games before video game subscriptions truly take off. Speaking to discuss the launch of Ubisoft's new Ubisoft Plus Premium and Ubisoft Classic subscriptions, Felipe Tremblay, director of subscriptions at Ubisoft, explained to GameIndustry.biz what needs to happen before subscription services become a more significant slice of the video game business. I don't have a crystal ball, but when you look at the different subscription services that are out there, we've had a rapid expansion over the last couple of years, but it's still relatively small compared to other models, Tremblay said. We're seeing expansion on console as the likes of PlayStation and Xbox bring new people in. On PC, from a Ubisoft standpoint, it appears... it's already been great, but we are looking to reach out more on PC, so we see opportunity there. One of the things we saw is that gamers are used to, a bit like a DVD, having and owning their games. That's a consumer shift that needs to happen. They got comfortable not owning their CD collection or DVD collection. That's a transformation that's been a bit slower to happen in games. As gamers grow comfortable in that aspect, you don't lose your progress. If you resume your game at any other time, your progress file is still there. That's not been deleted. You don't lose what you've built in a game or your engagement with the game. So it's about feeling comfortable with not owning your game. I still have 2 boxes of DVDs. I definitely understand the gamer's perspective with this, but as people embrace that model, they will see that these games will exist, the service will continue, and you'll be able to access them when you feel like it. That's reassuring. Streaming is also a thing that works really well with subscription. So you pay when you need it as opposed to paying all the time. It's fair to say that Tremblay's comments haven't gone down well with some gamers who prefer to buy their games on disc as opposed to downloading them or streaming them. But it's worth pointing out that Ubisoft, like many other video game publishers, does still release its games on disc. And while digital sales have grown as a portion of the overall sales over the years, a significant portion of players still prefer to own their games physically.
I'm having a hard time understanding this because, for one, I don't agree.
Yeah.
But also, what's his point about not?
He's trying to sell the new Ubisoft subscription services.
He says here, if you resume your game at another time, your progress file is still there.
Oh, I think he's trying to say, like, when you transition over to this new model of not owning your game, you'll still be able to play and access your game as if nothing had happened.
But yeah, the concern that everybody has is, what if something does happen?
Yes, like you won't lose. Like if you start playing Assassin's Creed on one system and you bought the game physically, and then you want to play it on another system, and you don't have the game, but you have a subscription to Ubisoft, your save file will transfer over like nothing happened.
I have beef with Ubisoft.
Everybody has beef with Ubisoft. They're not a good company. They put out apparently a really good game recently.
They did. It is very good.
I heard nothing but good things. I had the demo. I'm excited to play it, but that doesn't excuse the fact.
I do hear it's a bad demo.
Is it?
I just hear that it's very short.
Okay.
And they blue ball you. They take it away from you right when it gets good.
Okay. But still, the point remains that that doesn't excuse the fact that they've released a lot of bad games, a lot of samey games, and they do a lot of shady practices, and they're a horribly run company. Activision levels of horribly run. And then this is just one more thing to add on to it.
My beef with Ubisoft stems way back from when they just made Assassin's Creed 1,000 times.
Yes.
And every game after Assassin's Creed became just Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
But my beef recently is that I got a code for Prince of Persia. It's awesome. I played it. The way you redeem a review code is you do a test version of the game. You got to go into it and select it, and you have to type in 3 different codes. You finally get it. It works great. Everything works great. It is definitely a pre-release version, so there's some things that are a little weird, but for the most part, the game runs great. I don't think cloud saves work for this test version.
Okay.
So I'm not able to play it on anything but my PC.
Really?
Because I started it on my PC. Now I can't move my save to anything else, and I want to play it on my handheld.
Right.
So that's my beef.
Yeah.
Is that, and it makes it worse that he's saying that my progress is not lost, but it kind of is, because they gave me a version of the game that isn't going to allow me to move my game. Hopefully, when the game's actually released, the cloud saves will work the way that they're intended. But as of right now, they're not making me confident about wanting to be inside of their ecosystem.
Yeah.
The other issue is that you need Ubisoft Connect. I don't think this new Prince of Persia game is going to be available on Steam, or even some people are saying Epic Game Store.
It's on Epic. Yeah, it's going to be on Epic Game Store and apparently Amazon Luna.
Oh, well, yeah, they have a partnership with Amazon. Is it going to be on Epic Game Store?
Yeah.
Just at launch, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. Get it there, I guess. Because I got to be honest, people also don't like Epic.
Yeah.
But Ubisoft Connect is a whole nother version of garbage. I push back a little bit when people are... PC guys really hate opening another launcher.
Yeah.
If you have something in a different launcher, they're like, oh, this sucks. I need it on Steam. But Ubisoft Connect really does suck. I spent a long time trying to get it to run on 3 different devices, and some devices it just straight up will not work. The Steam Deck, it just deleted itself off of my Steam Deck. The Asus Ally, it just will not open on the Asus Ally for some reason. The Lenovo, it worked and everything's fine, but my cloud save's not there.
Yeah.
So not a fan of how I have to play Prince of Persia right now. But the game is great, and I'm willing to go through all of that hell to try to play it again.
Right. But that was really, I think, to mask the issue of what he's really talking about, which is the idea of being... He specifically uses the words being comfortable not owning your games anymore.
Yeah. So they're pushing their own subscription?
Yeah.
Ubisoft Plus Classics subscription.
And Ubisoft Plus Premium. There's 2 different subscriptions.
So if I subscribe to one of these, will I get Prince of Persia?
I'm assuming so.
Gotta know, because, what's even the point?
Yeah.
Why would I do that? Designed to coincide with the release of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown on Ubisoft Plus Multi-Access and PC Access have become Ubisoft Plus Premium, which costs $17.99 a month. The subscription is designed to offer day one new releases. Oh, PlayStation and even Microsoft could learn a thing or two about this. And early access where applicable, as well as premium editions and monthly rewards. The day one release of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, for example, is a part of Ubisoft Plus Premium.
But then, along with this change, Ubisoft has released Ubisoft Plus Classics on PC, which is described as a curated selection of popular back catalog and live games, including Far Cry 6, Rainbow Six Siege, and Watch Dogs Legion. Those games are not that old. Those games are barely 10 years old.
Oh, barely 10 years old? That's kind of a long time.
Well,
10 years is pretty long.
Far Cry is barely 5 years old.
Yeah.
And they're putting that on another subscription service?
Far Cry 6?
Yeah.
How old is Far Cry 6? That's
not that old.
Far Cry.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be a classic game. 2021.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 years old? Is that 3? Yes.
Yeah, it's 3. It's...
Okay, that's not a classic
game.
You're
not that old.
I guess classics in that it's very popular, or it will be a classic game eventually.
I don't know. Why to me, classic means like a generation or two ago.
Yeah.
You know, like a PlayStation 3 game.
Yeah, Watch Dogs Legions isn't that old either.
Yeah. Even like Rainbow Six Siege, I know like that's probably a 10-year-old game at this point, but it's still like actively played by millions of people.
Yeah, it's gone through enough changes where it's a completely different game now.
Yeah.
Yeah, these aren't really classics. But I guess they're going to tell you the most up-to-date popular ones before they try to give you all the classic games, because that's the ones people are going to care about.
Right.
I don't see anything wrong with them having a subscription service with day one releases of their new games. Some people are interested in like getting the new Far Cry or Assassin's Creed every year. I always find
it weird, like, you know, when publishers specifically have their own subscription service, because you really gotta fucking like Ubisoft games if you want to subscribe to their service. And Ubisoft does not have a wide genre of games. Yeah, they're mostly the same.
Well, I think we look at big publishers a little differently. We see them we don't have like a good relationship with the publisher. We just like the game, you know?
Yeah.
And I could see people being excited for the new Assassin's Creed every year the Assassin's Creed game comes out. I want it. So why not pay a monthly subscription to always have the newest Assassin's Creed or the newest Far Cry?
But like that's, you know, you pay the monthly subscription for as long as you're playing that game and then stop. Yeah. Whereas like, you know, Nintendo, I can see it making sense because like they have platformers and RPGs and action adventure games and shooters and whatnot, and party games and racing games and whatnot.
Well, this was the excuse for Game Pass with the Xbox Series. We were like, Halo Infinite is $1.
Yeah.
You get it and you beat it and then you stop paying for Game Pass, you know?
But at least Game Pass offers not just Microsoft titles, but like all these other types of video games that could entice you to stay.
Well, now one of the issues with Game Pass is I think they force you to buy a year?
No, I think it's still a month. It's still by the month.
Oh, they force you to do the month?
Yeah, you can't you can't buy a year.
I thought the opposite.
Yeah.
That's better then. So hopefully Ubisoft, you could do a month.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see any problem with this because if you do it smart, it could actually be cheaper for you to play the game, but you don't own it.
Yeah, that's the big issue that I think we keep losing sight of, is the fact that now we have an executive like actually coming out and saying like, we don't want you to own your games.
I also don't trust their cloud save situation at all.
Right.
Because if you stop paying for it, you might lose the cloud save. Also, Ubisoft could just go under or be acquired by somebody else. They've come extremely close to going under in the past.
Several times, yeah.
So I mean, you're going to make sure you keep a local save of all of your stuff if you're going to utilize this at all. This, of course, goes into the bigger question of owning your games and having backups of everything. I mean, you look at like PT on the PlayStation 4, like that, you just cannot delete that from your hard drive.
Exactly.
That's just on the drive, and if you delete that, you will lose it forever because it's just not on any storefront. I have all of the Switch games that I've ever purchased are on my micro SD card. In hopes that that's a way to have them backed up. But if that micro SD card, if anything happens to that, it's done for. And I know like 10 years from now that eShop's not going to be there.
Yeah.
So.
But at least, you know, for the time being, you own, like, you quote unquote own the game. Like if you delete it, you can go back and re-download it. You know, it's there. For a lot of games too, even if the game gets delisted, you still have the ability to go in and re-download the game if you've already purchased it.
Yeah. It's very rare for a game to just not be there at all and be taken away from you completely.
Yes.
That's a rare thing to have happen. Luckily, in pretty much all cases where that happens, there's a backup on the internet in some form. So if you dig deep enough, you'll be able to find a bootleg version of that game, which is sort of the battle that we are in the middle of. Is obviously you don't want people to back up your current games because that's piracy. You don't want people to take Prince of Persia and put it on the internet for everybody to have because the game's available and you should pay for it because people worked on it. But if tomorrow Ubisoft decided we're not going to release Prince of Persia, we're just going to take it off and no one will ever play it.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have a backup on the internet in some form.
We're seeing this conversation happening now in like the movie sphere as well, because as we've seen subscription with the whole subscription service model with like your Netflixes and your Disney Plus and whatnot, that's starting to fall apart because like those services aside from Netflix don't make money. And the people who have been championing physical media forever are feeling vindicated because people are buying physical media of the movies they want and they have it on their shelf. And then if it gets pulled from a streaming service, which has been happening more and more frequently, they don't have to worry because it's on their shelf. Warner Brothers is not going to come to your house and rob your DVD collection. So
I feel like there was a case recently where a game was removed and like shut down completely. Like you cannot. Oh, wasn't it that Last of Us ripoff? They made it so you can't play that
or whatever.
All. That game came out for like 3 days, and then they were like, "Forget it," and they shut the whole thing down. So you can't play it at all. But I think they refunded people.
They're trying to.
Oh, they're trying to. That your game has to be so bad for you to want to give people their money back. For you to shut it down that much, like at least gather the curious people. You know, there's gonna be curious people who want to like shit on your game and just meme on it. Like at least get the money from those guys. That Wolf Den mug with the lid on it is pretty sick. When are we getting it? We've had it for a long time.
These are custom babes.
I don't know where the big one is. I don't know. He always drinks out of a big one. I don't know where I put it. Also, look at you might get this one though. This one is a little bowl that has a little wolf logo on it. You can't really see it, but maybe if I talk long enough, it'll switch over to me. Paramount Plus pulled the first season of Star Trek Prodigy from their service, apparently to make it a tax write-off, and refuses to put on the second season, which is almost complete.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about.
This is my bowl.
Star Trek was like a premiere show for Paramount. They sold Paramount Plus on being the home of all things Star Trek. Any Star Trek you want, you gotta subscribe to Paramount Plus to see it, except Star Trek Prodigy, apparently.
All right.
And so, like, you know, Ubisoft Plus will be the home of all Assassin's Creed games, except the Assassin's Creed Liberation, that PS Vita game, because nobody cares about that one.
Assassin's Creed Liberation, I don't remember that.
That was
there's so many offshoots.
There really are. That was a PS Vita exclusive when that launched. It was a tie-in to Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh, yes. Okay, I remember this now. Prince of Persia is great. Game's awesome.
I really want to play it.
I really like it.
Yeah.
If you play that game and you like it, you should also try Blasphemous 2. Forget the first one.
Okay.
Because it's the same game. They're the same. They play exactly the same. Blasphemous 2 might be, it's a little more Souls-like where if you die, like it's a little more Souls-like where if you die you need to pick up your souls. You know, you need to go back to where you died. Prince of Persia is a lot more forgiving in that respect, but the games are so similar that when I died, I thought I had to go back to where I died. And I was like, oh wait, I don't have to do this. I can just restart from the same save. I am playing Prince of Persia on the harder difficulty, so there's 4 difficulties. I'm playing it on the third one out of 4. And it's pretty hard. But it's great. I love the combat. It feels also a lot like Metroid Dread, but I think that's just because that's like the newest Metroidvania,
like gold standard
3D side-scrolling game that we've had recently. So, But yeah, it's awesome. I'm excited to play it more on something like my Steam Deck, but I need the cloud saves. Somebody in the YouTube chat said that he's playing it on Steam Deck and it works great. Honestly, oh shit! I just banned him. You're back.
Hey, sorry.
Gary DeBrown. Fucking YouTube chat tools are rough. Yeah, I think it's entirely my fault that Ubisoft Connect just deleted itself.
Yeah.
Apparently, if you delete the installer off of your Steam Deck, it deletes the whole thing. Deletes because like you've done this with Epic Game Store. It's an exe file and it creates like a virtual Windows like disk. But if you delete the installer, it deletes the whole Windows virtual disk.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know. So it fucked up everything. Anyway, that's that.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a lot of concerns we have for owning digital stuff the more and more people move to digital. When was the last statistic? It was like 50%, right?
Yeah.
Digital, it's getting more and more.
Yeah.
There's merits to having physical, but
absolutely,
it's getting less and less too, though, because a lot of physical games are just you need the day one patch or it doesn't work.
Yeah, and a lot of physical games change so much over time that like the game on the disc is not the same as the game that you're going to be playing. So, and a lot of discs are just DRM, like they're just to validate that you own the game.
Yeah. Willow, thanks for the 100 bits. No one wanted to own Ubisoft games anyway. Sorry, I hope that's what we were just talking about. Edible just hit. Will Wolf, damn it, with the 5 months in a row. Only 5?
It says 46 total.
Okay.
So I don't know what that shit's about.
That means you missed. That means you missed a month 5 months ago.
Okay.
Hey, Wolf Bros. Could you please tell me why the hell Castlemania Games is emailing me every hour about my GameCube shell modification? They're not even being helpful. They're just asking me if they resolved my issue.
So let me explain this.
I need to know what's happening here because I was thinking about this because I want to do a modded GameCube.
Yeah. So I ordered when they put up the pre-order for the GameCube shells, the replacing GameCube shells, I ordered one. This was like in 2022.
Yeah, and this is amazing to me because now it's so easy to get a clear shell.
Apparently, like the company that was making them was having a lot of problems making them and whatever. That's not the major issue. The major issue is at some point during this, Castlemania went through like, back end rebuilding and stuff, and they shifted a lot of stuff over to a second website called Rondo.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and they said like your orders will shift over and stuff, it'll be fine. But I go to Rondo's website and I log in just to see if there's an update, and my order is not there, like at all. So I'm like, okay, I'm still getting like update emails and stuff. So, and this is back in November. I email Rondo saying, hey, I still have my order numbers. I still have my credit card. Why isn't my order in the order history? And then nothing until today, where they said, first at like 2:30 this afternoon, they said,
when did you email them?
November.
Okay.
So at first, at 2:30, they said, we apologize for the delayed response. We have a new team working to catch up on tickets, and we are working on responding to your individual requests as quickly as possible. We could use your help, though. If your request has already been resolved or your question has already been answered, please reply to this email with, this code or whatever. If you still need an answer, please do nothing at all. I still need an answer. They didn't answer so I didn't respond to anything. But apparently, every hour, at 20 past the hour, they will just email me saying, if you no longer need assistance, please respond with this code.
But you need it.
I do. I have gotten, including the initial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 emails telling me if I don't need their assistance anymore, please let them know.
They're very responsive on Twitter, but I don't like using the Twitter card.
Yeah.
With the hey, do you know who I am? But yeah, I mean, I'm sure if you email them, well, no, they're probably not even working right now. It's probably like an automated thing that's just gonna do it for the next day. I mean, you're kind of just screwed.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit, unless they keep fucking emailing me, and then I'm gonna have to actually raise this up the flagpole.
You can just at them on Twitter. And
I think I might have to, yeah.
But again, I don't like pulling that.
I did it once with GameStop because they wouldn't send me my Ghostbusters toys, and then they sent me my Ghostbusters
GameStop
toys.
deserves it.
They do.
That's a big fish, you know?
Yeah.
You're punching up there.
Yeah.
I don't want to, draw too much.
I've ordered things from Castlemania before. They seem like good people. I'm just very confused right now.
Oh, Garrison in the chat, I think, said it happened to him too. He gave time stamps for how many times they emailed him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Also 7.
Jesus.
Did you also get the same thing?
Yeah.
The same. What did you get? Is it just a clear shell?
It's no. What it's called? I think I got translucent red.
Okay.
Yeah, GameCube shell, a GameCube replacement shell. I tweeted at you because I wanted to use the company credit card, and you said fine.
Oh yeah, that was so long ago.
That was very long ago.
How would you feel about me putting the Raspberry Pi disk mod in your GameCube?
In my GameCube.
Yeah. You could still use the disk drive. It's a new one where you could still use the disk drive. That means I will do the shell swap for you. That's what that means.
I know.
Yeah.
I bought it, and I said you can use it for content.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, great. You're just going to have a Raspberry Pi mod in it now.
Okay.
I also did some digging because I was thinking about doing that Raspberry Pi mod. It's called the Flippy drive or something.
Yeah.
I really want the Metal Gear GameCube.
Yeah.
But that's like $1,000. And if I got that, I wouldn't want to mod it.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about getting a silver GameCube and then just putting the Metal Gear Jewel on top, because that's all it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So making like a fake Metal Gear GameCube.
I did see Modern Vintage Gamers video today on modding your slim PlayStation 3. I think I want to look into that.
For what?
For all the reasons you would mod a video game system. So
but a PlayStation 3?
You can
what are you playing on there?
You can load games onto the hard drive and play them off the hard drive without the disc. You can get bootleg games and download games onto there. You can play this is the big one. You can play PlayStation 2 games on there.
Wow, I can play that on anything. It's fucking PlayStation 2. PlayStation 3 is hard to emulate, I understand.
Yes.
But what game on a PlayStation 3 you're going to want to play on PlayStation 3?
It's not so much of the PlayStation 3 specifically. I want one system that can play PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games. One.
All right, well, the 3 is the hard one.
Yes.
The 3 is the hard part.
But if I have a native PlayStation 3, then I can natively play PlayStation 3 games. I know PlayStation 2 emulation on PlayStation 3 is good enough. So if I can have this way, I can play my PlayStation 2 games on an HD television without having to worry about wires and shit.
There's just no PlayStation 3 games that I'm like, I need to play that. Right. And if there is, they're so easy to play somewhere else.
It's more so the PlayStation 2 aspect.
The only PlayStation 3 game that would be hard for me to play is Metal Gear 4.
Right. But that may be coming in the next Master Collection.
And that would be amazing if they did that. Didn't Modern Vintage Gamer just do a video on this? Yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
Said that. Bob, Rock Band modded songs. See, here's the thing. We have so many Rock Band songs on Xbox 360. Yeah. We have like all of them.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway. We got more notifications. We got Sith with the Prime. We got Mr. Rock PR. Thanks for the 12 months. Hey, Wolf Brothers. I'm super excited to be here and can't wait to hear your awesome insights on all things gaming. Sounds like a canned endorsement.
Yeah.
Thank you. An Anonymous gifted 5 subs. Thank you.
Thank you.
To the anonymous person for giving us money. All right. Wow. We barely got anywhere in this show so far. Let's talk about the Ayaneo Next Lite, which I have a lot of thoughts on.
Okay.
Some of your eyes might glaze over.
Okay. Ayaneo's attempt to launch a bargain price competitor to the Steam Deck has been confusing to say the least, but the company has now published a product page and that clears up most things. The Ayaneo Next Lite will cost $299. It is $300 American dollars. Will not ship with an official build of SteamOS, but rather an unofficial fork and come with a 4-year-old AMD processor that's arguably less potent than the one in the original Steam Deck.
Wow, they just shit all over this in the first paragraph.
While the company originally advertised that subscriptions for the handheld will be open on Thursday night, that may have been a case of Chinese to English translation getting too literal. The final product page was only a subscribe button, so you can get emailed with more information about the product. A new blog post has no mention of subscriptions.
That clears some stuff up for me because I heard about this subscription thing before, and I was like, wait a minute, is that a way to like subsidize how cheap this console is? But that seems to clear things up a little bit.
Also, while the company's initial blog post announcing its handheld gaming PC said the device has SteamOS pre-installed, the company has since confirmed it won't have official support for Valve's Linux-based operating system. After this article was originally published, CEO Arthur Zhang told fans in Ayaneo's official Discord that it should be noted that we are using a third-party SteamOS, not the official SteamOS.
Yeah, so that's what made things really confusing for people, and understandably so. They said it was SteamOS. They said it had SteamOS, and then they're like, no. It's got Hollow ISO, which the article goes on to talk about.
Hollow ISO, which its creator described on GitHub as something that attempts to bring the Steam Deck's SteamOS Hollow redistribution into a generic installable format and provide a close to official SteamOS experience. Without official support from Valve, the prospects for this device running the software well seem much further from reality than the original blog post on Ayaneo's site suggested.
All right, so Ayaneo makes a lot of PC handhelds. They're like one of, I don't want to say they were early in the PC handheld game.
Yes.
They were getting powerful handheld. They had powerful handhelds to the market. Right, they were like the name right before the Steam Deck came out. And they were expensive. They released 1 million of them. They were so quick, and they still continue to release 1 million of them. And they're all Windows-based, pretty much. They had an Android one recently that I wanted to try, but I kind of missed the boat on it. It's so hard to keep up because they released so many.
Yeah.
This one is notable because it has SteamOS, but it's not really SteamOS.
Yeah.
But that makes it a direct competitor to the Steam Deck. And there is a version that is only $299. There's also a version that's $399, which is probably going to be the one that's closer to what the Steam Deck is. But at that point, just get a Steam Deck. For $399, that's a little bit enticing, especially if it could run, if the performance is comparable. But the problem is Ayaneo needs to make the money on the hardware sales. Steam can take the hit because you're going to buy the software on it. So this is interesting because it's the first handheld we're seeing that has a sort of SteamOS. Remember when the Steam Deck came out and SteamOS, well, actually SteamOS was the thing for the Steam machines.
Yeah, I was going to say back when the Steam first got into hardware with the Steam machines, they had said that SteamOS was going to be open source and like anyone can put it on their device and use it.
And there were a couple, right?
Alienware made like the first Steam machines.
Yeah, and like that was it.
Yeah.
So when the Steam Deck came out, Valve was also like, hey, we think there's also going to be other devices that will have SteamOS on it as well. And I remember sitting here in these chairs being like, well, maybe not in these chairs. Maybe it was in our Batman chairs. But I remember sitting there being like, it'll fail just like the Steam machine if they release too many of them.
Yeah.
If they release too many handhelds that have SteamOS on it, the market's going to get flooded and no one will keep up with it. There haven't been any SteamOS machines since the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because you see all these Windows-based machines.
Yeah.
People are trying to compete with the Steam Deck, so why are there no SteamOS machines?
I'm assuming Steam is probably locking down like how they distribute SteamOS now.
Yeah, so this was my confusion when I decided to look into this, and it seems like SteamOS is not open source as much as they try to make it seem like it is.
Right.
A lot of SteamOS is open source, but the thing that locks it down is that it comes with the Steam client, which is Steam. Mm-hmm. It's the way that you buy the games, and download your games and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where Hollow ISO comes in. Mm-hmm. Hollow ISO takes SteamOS, removes the Steam client, and makes it some generic version that is open.
Yeah.
And puts it back in there. That is walking a tightrope.
Yeah.
There's a lot here that could this could get shut down tomorrow. There's nothing official here. This isn't even like far into development, it seems like. It seems like they're not really sure how this is going to work entirely, because their first blog post said this is SteamOS, and then they realized the Steam website for SteamOS says you cannot use SteamOS to market your product.
Right.
So them saying, hey, this is going to have SteamOS is already in violation. That's why they had to delete that blog post and say it doesn't have SteamOS, it has a Hollow ISO.
Yeah.
And, I mean, what is Hollow ISO? It's SteamOS. So we haven't really seen products released with Hollow ISO either, and I think that's also because that's not official and could also be a problem for a legitimate company to release something with a public version of a locked down product. You know, it's this seems a little something's not right and could go very wrong very quickly with this. Valve could shut this down in a heartbeat, and I think the biggest tell is that we haven't seen any SteamOS machines in a while, and it's because it's probably a huge pain in the ass. Also, how are you going to buy games on here? You're going to have to log in to your Steam account through some third-party thing.
You're going to have to somehow get Steam on there, because it's not going to come with Steam.
Well, it's going to come... Hollow ISO is going to put its own version of Steam on it. And it's also of note that Ayaneo is repackaging Hollow ISO. So they're doing some development on the free open version of Hollow ISO. So you're going to have to log in through Ayaneo's version of Hollow ISO. That's kind of a weird issue. I don't know if I trust them with my Steam information, you know? If I were to test this, I would probably want to use like a new Steam account or something. So, I don't know. It's exciting that we're getting a Steam OS machine of some sort, but I'm very skeptical. Somebody told me in the chat the other day that the Ein Loki, one of them, is a SteamOS machine, and I didn't know that either. I got it in one of those boxes. Over there. I got to open it up and see. I didn't know that. Maybe it is. That would be interesting, because that means there's one that predates this.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same, but Chimera OS is an OS that's a version of SteamOS that you can just log into your Steam account and use your Steam library as if you are using a Steam Deck. You can put Chimera OS on them too. That sounds like the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's Linux? This reminds me of when the Switch emulator was going to come out on Steam and they announced it and they had to backtrack the ads. Well, that's like a clear violation. I was forgetting the Ambernick Win 600, which also tried to have SteamOS. I'm not forgetting. That's what I'm... Yes, I'm forgetting. Yes, I'm forgetting the Ambernick Win 600. Did they end up putting Windows on it? I don't think that launched with SteamOS, did it?
I don't think so. I feel like there would have been a lot more news if another system came out. Like
I feel like I would know. First of all, the Ambernick Win 600 was $400. It's now $350. That's pretty cheap. I've heard of this, but I didn't know. Yeah, Windows. It's got Windows. That's why it probably was gonna have SteamOS for all of like a week and then got shut down.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that's that. So while I was talking about I talked more about this on the Steam Deck podcast where I kind of went down the rabbit hole of why it seems like it might be a little fishy, and I looked into it more after that. So this, I guess, gives you a little more information. But on that podcast, I also mentioned how Valve shut down Team Fortress Fan Project recently because people see Valve as like they like mods and they like things to be open for everybody.
A lot of games, Team Fortress 2 started out as a mod for Half-Life.
But they are no stranger to litigation.
Yes. Team Fortress Source 2, a fan project seeking to port Valve's classic shooter to the Source 2 engine, is officially dead. The news was announced following a DMCA takedown demand from Valve that blocked the group's GitHub repositories. It joins Portal 64, which was also canceled less than a week after the release of its first slice.
I didn't know Portal 64 was canceled. I saw everybody was playing it.
Yeah, because they made it playable. They even made it playable on actual N64 hardware. Wow. And then Valve came in and said, hey, get rid of this.
That's not cool.
Or we'll never release Half-Life 3.
I don't like that at all.
The takedown was the nail in the coffin for the project announced. The announcement read, which had already have been on shaky ground before Valve stepped in. While we were discussing the project's future internally recently, we already came to the conclusion to stop the development of the project due to the current state of the code being unusable anymore with S&Box's recent major engine changes, and that we overall moved on from it, the announcement read. Sadly, this means this DMCA takedown is the nail in the coffin. We cannot bring it back, and we've hit Valve's attention. It seems like they definitely don't want us to use their IP, which is totally fair and legal from them. From the bottom of our hearts at Amper, it's been an honor to grow this project with all of you and an incredible team behind it. We cannot be thankful enough for all of your support and enthusiasm over the last 3 years. We're so happy we got this far. In development since at least 2021, Team Fortress Source 2 was envisioned as a new version of the classic game on Gary's Mod's spiritual successor, S&Box. With Team Fortress 2 now 17 years old and largely overrun by bots, Team Fortress Source 2 was intended to inject fresh life into Valve's beloved shooter. The team at one point had more than 20 volunteers helping to port assets from the base game and rebuild Team Fortress 2 mechanics. Portal 64, meanwhile, is being shuttered due to the project depending on Nintendo's proprietary libraries, according to an update on the project's Patreon.
Patreon! That's the problem.
Like Team Fortress, Portal 64 sought to revive Valve's 2007 classic, but on N64 hardware. Its developers celebrated the release of the first slice, demonstrating its progress on January 5th.
I can't read the Patreon post from Portal 64. So I have been in communication with Valve about the future of the project. There is some news, and it isn't good. All right, so they talked to Valve, I guess. It's locked behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a little bit of sense about the Portal thing because of the, how much assets from the Nintendo 64 are you using? Because just using a Nintendo 64 emulator should be fine.
Yeah. I'm trying to find has anybody posted exactly what they said.
Yeah, I'd like to know that. But again, I mean, if you have a fucking Patreon, you're profiting off of someone else's IP.
I don't know if this necessarily counts as profiting off of it. You know?
How?
Because he's not selling the product. He's not selling Portal 64 specifically.
Yeah, it would need to be free.
Yeah.
It would need to be
as far
free.
as I know, it was free.
I mean, sometimes they lock it behind a Patreon paywall.
Right. As pointed out, Valve doesn't want to put itself in any situation where it appears to be endorsing a game that might violate Nintendo's copyrights and thus become the target of Nintendo's notoriously feisty lawyers.
We got bits from Murang, who says Team Fortress 2 is Valve's property and Portal 64 is highly justified as they used Nintendo's proprietary libraries instead of using an open source library that did the same thing.
That's what this article I'm reading is getting at.
And they said, how is Valve the bad guy here? I don't think we're saying that.
No, so like Portal 64 is being made using like Nintendo assets and Nintendo libraries to make the game. Like he's not building one from scratch. He's not using open source versions. So that's where they ran into trouble. Team Fortress 2, the Team Fortress 2 thing though is still a little confusing because Valve has shown their willingness to work with fan communities in the past with Valve properties. Black Mesa is a fan-made complete rebuild of the first Half-Life game in the Source 2 engine that is sold for profit on Steam. So like that team got explicit permission from Valve to do this and Valve said yes.
My only assumption is that they're doing that on their own. They're making a new version.
They're trying
of Team
to fix Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could understand, because Team Fortress 2 seems to be just completely unplayable right now because it's all bots. And they're all, what are they, farming for hats? There's like a hat market.
Yeah.
So that makes sense that they would just kind of throw that out and try to build a new version of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that might be why they're shutting down somebody else's fan project. Also, we got 20 gifted subs from the Karata.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, the Karata, for giving us a lot of money. I love your YouTube videos, and they made me buy a Nintendo Switch, which opened up a whole new world to me. Thank you for that. Oh my God, thank you, the Karata. We're opening up a whole world of 20 gifted subs. Maybe they're working on some sort of revamp / remaster. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not unplayable. I play on community servers every now and then. Okay. Everybody seems to think that it's, I mean, their article just said it's overrun by bots, and I've heard that before.
Yeah, no, I've heard it's like overrun by bots and like rampant cheating, and like there's no, like Valve has not really stepped in to do anything about it.
Subpopix, I guess, says he plays on community servers. So that might be, that might be a fix for it.
Like that's like a private.
It would, maybe it has its own sort of like anti-cheat.
Lord DC says the public servers are very unplayable.
Andrew in the YouTube chat says there's an article that talked about Portal 64 basically because he's using the Nintendo library.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
All right.
Oh, should have talked about this when we were talking about Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown will have a character voiced by text-to-speech. Haven't run into this yet.
Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown launches next week. While IGN really dug the game, there's one odd detail that stuck out that they couldn't help but give its own article. One of the game's minor NPCs will be voiced by a text-to-speech program at launch, seemingly because someone, probably Ubisoft, forgot to record and add a human being's voice to the role. While in discussion with fellow early reviewers during the review period for The Lost Crown, it was pointed out that the voice of the tree spirit character, Calyx, sounded remarkably like either an AI or text-to-speech program, specifically a text-to-speech program that's available online for free for use by streamers. You can compare some of the lines recorded, embedded below, to those same lines processed through the text-to-speech program right here. Notably, the character in question does not seem to be credited with a voice actor in the game's credits, despite, as far as IGN can tell, every other character appearing in the game with a named human credit. None of the other characters in the game sound like an AI or text-to-speech program, including multiple other tree spirits. All in all, it's a weird situation. Calux only has a handful of lines, and some of Prince of Persia's voice actors have multiple characters. So it seems that there would have been easy enough to cast a voice actor to do these as well. IGN has reached out to a production studio, Side UK, which is credited as having handled the game's voice work for comment, and received the following message. Side London provided casting, production management, voice direction, voice recording, and post-production in Prince of Persia Lost Crown, for which we worked with a talented cast of professional actors. As a production company, we did not have visibility on any other voice design plans, text-to-speech or otherwise, Ubisoft had for the game. So Side UK didn't put the text-to-speech in there, which leaves Ubisoft as the culprit. Ubisoft, in fact, confirmed it was their doing, but the explanation the developer gave is a bit bizarre. This is Ubisoft's response. During the development process of the game, some teams used multiple placeholder assets, including text-to-speech voiceover, until final dubbing is delivered. The English version of these 8 lines of text for this character were not properly implemented, but will be swapped out and updated with an upcoming patch. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is fully voiced over in English, French, Spanish, German, and Farsi, with more than 12,000 lines in total. It is also subtitled in Italian, Portuguese, Brazilian, Chinese, Korean, Russian, Arabic, Polish, and Japanese.
Oh, okay. I mean, that seems obvious that they just didn't put it in.
But how lazy are you that like 8 lines of dialogue you didn't get re-recorded before the game got out the door, that you just left the text-to-speech in there?
Here's the problem, is that the game came out a week before the game came out. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And you're going to always see shit like this. They move the date. You know, imagine being a developer and you're like, oh, we'll just re-record that. This is 8 lines. We got time to record those 8 lines. It's like, oh, by the way, the game comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the 18th.
No.
It is the 18th, but
if
tomorrow,
you have like
everyone's going to play
some sort of early access bullshit.
Yeah. So that's what's happening. I'm sure there'll be I'm sure this patch will come really quickly.
Yeah.
So that seems to be
a
very easy fix.
While the game does have a day 1 patch, Calyx's voice won't be fixed in that. Ubisoft said expect late January or early February.
Okay. I mean, late January. That's very soon. Again, I have not come across this character at all. It could be a guy they added, in the game, and after they did the voice lines or whatever. I don't really think it's a big deal.
I think it's a big deal because we just had a really long actor strike about AI replacing actors, and here we have a company literally doing that.
Well,
for the time being,
you know that it's not a good text-to-speech. It's going to be like Microsoft Sam, This is like a normal thing, like a placeholder. It's just you usually don't get to see it, If it was like AI, then there would be a completely different story, but this is just straight up
laziness.
I don't want to say laziness because it's hard to make a game.
It is.
I would say it was just an oversight.
Right.
And to be honest, Prince of Persia, this is a throwaway game for Ubisoft. It's a side-scrolling franchise they haven't freaking released in forever.
Which unfortunately is true, yeah.
It's going to sell a lot and do really well, probably a lot better than they would have expected, but they probably aren't putting a lot of resources into this at all. So I don't want to give them too much crap for it. Anyway, that's that. Let's hear an update about the DualSense controller.
A retailer listing of a V2 DualSense controller for the PlayStation 5 has been spotted online, and it boasts an exceptional 12-hour battery life. That's a much longer battery life than the standard DualSense controller, which averages between 6 to 10 hours, and many players would argue less. More specifically, players spotted a Best Buy Canada retail listing for a PlayStation 5 version 2 DualSense wireless controller, white, as reported by Eurogamer. Curiously, this V2 DualSense controller looks identical to the white ones that launched with the PlayStation 5, but in the About This Product section of the controller, you'll find exceptional 12-hour battery life on full charge, supports long gaming sessions. This section also states the controller includes a DualSense charging station that offers an easy click-in charging.
Ooh.
Game Informer's reached out to PlayStation to ask about this controller and whether or not it's real, and we'll update this story if it learns more.
I hope it's just the battery, because it does desperately need a new battery.
Yeah.
Maybe some Hall effect sticks would be nice, but I just want it to have a new battery so that I don't feel obligated to buy it and try it. I want it to be the same as we've had previously.
I hope the battery is like compatible with older models too.
Oh, like, you just like pop it in?
Yeah, it's just in case.
Well, I mean, it probably won't be if it has some sort of click-in situation where it has like a charge base situation.
Well,
no. Doesn't it charge from the bottom?
You can charge either through USB-C and then some charging stations. Yeah, you can charge it from the bottom. Yeah.
Okay. So then, hopefully that's not different then.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's the same. They probably took technology that they use in the DualSense Edge controller, because that one I think has
yes,
it's got like more stuff in it, but the battery life's like a little better or something. Or
no,
it's like
the battery life's worse because it has more stuff in it. I think the battery's the same battery, and because it's doing more stuff, the battery life actually is worse.
I thought it was the same, but it has more stuff. We averaged about 6 hours of playtime, which is not good.
Yeah.
How long would the battery last? 4 to 6. Okay, yeah, that's worse. That's a lot worse. DualSense battery life. I think that's 8 hours, isn't it?
Yeah.
5 to 7. Yeah, it's worse on the Edge. Never mind. They didn't use any technology for anything. I was looking up about the Xbox Series controller and the DualSense controller today because I heard a Call of Duty streamer say that playing Call of Duty on a PC is like cheating with a controller because you get a lot less input latency. And I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Something sounds wrong about that. And I was looking into it. A lot of Call of Duty streamers, when they play on controller, they use PlayStation controllers now.
Right.
I think they still use PlayStation 4 controllers.
Okay.
And I think that's weird because the Xbox controller is far superior.
Yeah.
But there's two reasons why I think they think that input latency is lower on the computer. One of them is higher frame rates.
Right.
And if you have a lot of games, probably also Call of Duty, the polling rate for how much it checks your input is tied to the frame rate.
Yeah.
So having a really high frame rate, like some of these people get like 500 frames a second, you're going to have a really high polling rate. So that makes sense. Apparently, the DualSense controller can get up to 1,000 hertz polling rate. That's like 1,000 frames per second, basically. Whereas an Xbox controller can only get 125 hertz. That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Supposedly, getting the DualSense controller up to 1,000 hertz kind of doesn't run that good.
Right.
But still, having that much gap, I need to try it and see what the difference is. Because I'm having a great time using my Xbox controller.
Yeah.
But now I need to try the DualSense Edge
I feel
and see
like
if I can clock it like that.
That's such a huge discrepancy. But like, why would it need 1,000 hertz polling rate at all?
So I think the reason why Microsoft locked it at 125 hertz is A, because it's stable. Like 1,000 hertz is not stable. And B, because you're only getting 120 frames per second on your Xbox.
Yeah.
So why do you need more than that on an Xbox? But on a PC, you can get a whole lot more than that.
Playing Call of Duty at 1,000 frames per second?
No one. I don't think you can do it at 1,000 frames per second.
Yeah.
But people are playing it at 500.
Yeah. Even that's a little ridiculous, honestly.
Quite a few top-end mice are getting 1,000 hertz polling rate. Yeah. I think the theoretical cap is 8,000 hertz, but nobody does that. But yeah, I don't even know how to unlock 1,000 hertz out of your controller. I'll have to look into that. I'm gonna try using the DualSense Edge for Call of Duty and see if I notice any change in input latency, because that sort of makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, and remember when the consoles were coming out, Microsoft claimed that it had better wireless technology that would make the input latency less. And then I tested both the Xbox and the PlayStation, and I think the PlayStation had less input latency.
Yeah.
So I play it wired anyway.
Update. Rondo Products emailed me again.
Is it the same email?
Same email.
Okay. All right. Add that to the list.
Yep.
Is that 8 now?
Yep.
Anything above what it is, 120 to 160, isn't even noticeable to the naked eye. It's not about the naked eye. Are you talking about frame rate? Because we're talking about the polling rate. It's the law of diminishing returns. Even with frame rate, the higher up you go, the less you notice it, but you still notice it. Like the difference between 120 hertz and 240 hertz is not a lot.
Yeah,
but you can notice a very small difference. Going from 60 hertz to 240 hertz fucking blows your mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, GameShark?
That's right. GameShark's back, kind of. As part of an ongoing wave of AI-related news at CES 2024, Alltech Lansing revealed an artificial intelligence-powered successor to GameShark called AI Shark.
Oh, God help me.
More interestingly, the press release regarding the software claims that the Nintendo Switch 2 is launching in September of 2024. Formerly known as GameShark, AI Shark is set to redefine the gaming landscape with its revolutionary AI-enhanced technology. Said in a press release, the innovative gaming software is set to mark a significant leap forward in the gaming experience, bringing enhanced gameplay for beginner-level users. The official launch is planned to coincide with the Nintendo Switch 2 in September 2024. AI Shark declaring that is very odd considering Nintendo has not confirmed the name of its next console or a release window for it. That means that AI Shark either revealed this release window and name information earlier than it was supposed to, or it's just speculating on the name and release window of Nintendo's next device in order to drum up a hype for its AI product. In a follow-up to Digital Trends, AI Shark backtracked on the September release month, but confirmed that the tentative launch for the platform is fall 2024. It added that Nintendo has not officially set the launch date yet, but it does not deny the existence of the device or the fact that it's set to launch this year. In a second follow-up, it backtracked on the fall 2024 window too, and noted that Nintendo has not officially clarified launch.
What do they know? Why would Nintendo even talk to them?
I know.
Like, they're just spitballing.
Yeah. I just think it's hysterical. Like the levels of like comedy in this article, it just keeps growing. First of all, GameShark is back.
But yeah, first, GameShark is back. Second, even if it was GameShark from many moons ago, Nintendo would never give them any information about anything because they don't fucking want GameShark around at all.
I know.
And now that they're back, it's some random company I've never heard of that is taking GameShark and calling it AI Shark. Which, why did you need GameShark at all?
Yeah.
If you're calling it AI, you could have just made AI Shark.
As for what AI Shark is, Alltech Lansing says it's utilizing exclusive XGPT technology and real-time tensor processing units acceleration to elevate users' gaming experiences by providing personalized hints and assistance that keep up with fast-paced competitive gaming. The press release unveiling AI Shark does not explain what data set it will pull from in order to give players this advice, so we've also asked Alltech Lansing for clarification on that.
I looked into this a little while you were talking because I'm very curious. I've never heard that GameShark got acquired.
Me neither.
As of just a couple of days ago, this news hit. GameShark that was acquired by Alltech, but all these articles are saying GameShark is going to return as an AI-powered tool. Not much about it being acquired.
Yeah, as far as I know, according to Wikipedia, GameShark is owned by Mad Cats.
Oh, and they're still around.
They're still around.
Didn't they go under and then come back?
Yes.
They tweeted at me the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I forgot about what, but they came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Audio company Alltech Lansing will be heading up the resurgence, which is now rebranded as AI Shark. Yeah, I don't understand. Oh, as per Digital Trends, we should read digital. Oh wait, we just read Digital Trends.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the same article. Also, when Mad Cats tweeted at me, I was in a Discord call with people, and I said, "Oh my god, Mad Catz tweeted at me," and they're like, "Who's that?" Like, they make controllers and stuff. They're like, "I've never heard of Mad Catz." I was like, "Okay."
Oh my god, what's wrong with people? Everybody had a Mad Catz controller.
Yeah, I'm still very confused about the acquisition of GameShark, or I guess like the license.
Yeah,
like it could just be this company is making AI Shark, and they just are calling it the resurgence of GameShark.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they're trying to use like name recognition of. You know what it reminds me of?
I'm gonna tweet at Mad Catz.
There you go.
I'm gonna be like, "Hey, what happened?
What is this?"
Yeah, who owns GameShark? Did you sell
Mad
it?
Catz went under and then came back. When they came back, they probably didn't have they probably let the rights to the GameShark name lapse. So this company came in and bought it, and they're now using it to power their stupid AI Shark thing. This kind of reminds me, not too long ago. Do you remember Toy Biz?
Yes.
The toy company they made.
Also, Mad Catz didn't tweet at me; they followed me.
Okay.
So I'm gonna DM them.
So Toy Biz used to be an action figure company. They were partially owned by Marvel, or they partially owned Marvel. They made all the Marvel action figures until Hasbro got the license, and then Toy Biz basically disappeared. They went under. Like last year or 2 years ago, somebody just bought the name Toy Biz and said, "We're bringing Toy Biz back, and we're gonna have all these licenses, and we're gonna have all these like cool articulated action figures." And that was like 2 Instagram posts and then nothing. So it sounds like this is a similar situation where somebody just bought the name, wants to use it for some cool new thing, but doesn't really understand A, what that cool new thing is, or B, what made people like the original version in the first place. So I don't think we're going to see this come out anytime soon.
Yeah, it's AI is the new thing. How can we incorporate? AI's cool, gaming's cool. How do we put the two together?
AI's cool, gaming's cool, sharks are cool. Somebody was wearing a shark t-shirt in that meeting, and it's like they just put 2 and 2 together.
And they're like, video game, sharks. All right. This is it. Hey, I'm curious. Do you own the GameShark license? Did Alltech Lansing purchase that from Mad Catz? And then I'm linking the article, and then that's all I'm gonna say. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
If they respond or they unfollow me. All right. Anyway, I'll update on what happens next week, hopefully. Anyway, moving on. We'll plow through the rest of this. We got WB Warner Brothers lifts NDA on Suicide Squad alpha test. Oh no.
Yeah. Rocksteady and WB Games are doing something odd. They are partially lifting a non-disclosure agreement surrounding a previous alpha test of the upcoming Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League following a load of mixed and negative previews. Earlier this week, numerous outlets and content creators across the web posted their hands-on previews of Rocksteady's open-world co-op looter shooter supervillain game, Suicide Squad. While some outlets and folks were positive about the upcoming DC game, many more complained of its clunky combat, bad traversal controls, boring missions, live service annoyances, bland loot, generic action, and lack of mechanical diversity with each team member.
Oh boy.
Now, a few days later, Rocksteady is seemingly trying to shift the narrative around its oft-delayed co-op game. On January 11th, Rocksteady announced that it is partially lifting the NDA surrounding the November 2023 alpha test of Suicide Squad. Specifically, players are now free to openly talk online about the early section of the game they playtested last year.
What was this? How closed was this alpha test? Because that's so long ago.
I know. It must have been very closed.
Yeah, because I don't even remember hearing about this.
Yeah, I don't remember it being a thing either. Now that there is more news out on the game and players are asking, we're no longer enforcing a portion of the NDA, Rocksteady explained. And we're allowing players to talk about their experience from the closed alpha test. We've heard the community requests and want to give players an opportunity to discuss what it's like to explore Metropolis as Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and King Shark. Rocksteady has made it clear that the rest of the NDA still applies, asking players to not share any images or videos of the closed test. it's very clear why they're lifting the NDA.
Yeah, because they're getting a lot of
it did not preview very well at all. So they are hoping that the people who play tested the alpha are going to be like, actually...
Yeah, that's why I'm curious, like, was this open to fans? Because that would give them an opportunity to come back a little bit, like the user score versus the critic score.
That's what I think, because it's like when a movie does bad and they don't put like the critic reviews in the commercials, they put tweets in the commercials, like
what Joe thinks.
Like Bong Ripper 420 says this movie is great.
Yeah. And I understand that sometimes the game reviews poorly, but people like it. You know, I like some stuff that doesn't review very well.
Same.
But yeah, this seems more dire than that.
Yeah.
I'm very interested now in this game because I like some of the ideas, but it seems like the actual gameplay is bad.
Yeah, I think it's
Kevin Conroy's last.
I know. And that's what sucks the most about it is I'm going to have to play this piece of shit in order to hear Batman one last time.
Or just watch the cutscenes on YouTube.
Yeah, I guess.
That's what I did for like Injustice and shit. I just watched. Well, I watched you play through all of Injustice 1.
Right.
And then I was like, all right, I don't have to play this.
Yeah.
It was like 3 hours. It was like a movie.
The difference is like Injustice 1 and Injustice 2. I mean, those are good games. Those are like your basic ass fighting games.
Injustice 2 I watched on YouTube.
Yeah.
I skimmed through all the cutscenes.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This maybe I'll do the same thing.
I'm definitely this is definitely gonna be a wait until it's on sale and wait until they implement the offline mode.
Yeah, it might end up being like the Avengers, where you get it and you just can't play it. Like half of it just doesn't work because it's not supported anymore by the time you get your hands on it. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Hopefully they learn.
Well, they did learn one thing, and that is apparently Rocksteady spent 1 year ripping out the hated Gear score. Suicide Squad devs has confirmed that the Gear score, one of the more controversial elements of Rocksteady's upcoming co-op shooter, has been entirely removed from the game. However, the game is still very much a looter shooter. When Rocksteady started releasing gameplay footage, not to mention all the leaks, fans were concerned by all the live service elements. One very despised bit was the inclusion of gear scores seen in games like Destiny 2. For skeptical fans, it was another indication that Suicide Squad was not a single-player Batman sequel that they wanted, but now the devs have announced that gear score is gone from Suicide Squad.
So like, I'm not opposed to like a Destiny-style game. I actually like Destiny a lot. Like, I like getting new like weapons and stuff and trying them all out, but that just doesn't seem to fit within the world of something like this.
It doesn't seem to fit with like a lot of games that are not Destiny. It's a mechanic that has been shoehorned into so many different games that don't apply and like run at odds with the type of game that it's supposed to be. Like Gotham Knights, for example, is clearly just trying to be Arkham City. And that's fine if it wants to just be Arkham City. But they threw in all this.
It can if they're going to do all that other shit.
Exactly. They threw in all that other shit. And like it breaks it up and ruins it. You know, Avengers should have been just a simple brawling game. But it's not. It's got all this Destiny shit in it.
Well, I saw a tweet the other day that was like, I guess when you beat Poison Ivy, you get her weapon.
Yeah.
Which is like the ice axe.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck does Poison Ivy, you know, remember Poison Ivy's famous ice axe?
Yeah.
Elemental ice axe? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So that's what you're going to have to deal with if you're going to have loot mechanics in a DC villain game.
Yeah. That was one of the things I hated about Borderlands. Was like all the different loot and all the guns and all the guns.
I liked that in the first Borderlands.
But here's the thing, and this is not something you're gonna hear quite often, but like I'm gonna give credit to Borderlands. That did not come at the expense of the overall gameplay, because the overall gameplay was still an open world RPG that played like a traditional open world RPG.
And you felt rewarded.
Yes.
The whole time. You're like, oh, this gun's sick, or oh, this gun sucks. I'm glad I have this one, though.
Not necessarily from the guns you get, but from like accomplishing your tasks in a traditional video game way.
Mm-hmm. So if you worked at Warner Brothers and you were tasked with making a looter Warner Brothers game on DC property, what DC property would make for good looting mechanics?
Trying to
Lobo.
Man, no. The thing is, like, I'm assuming it'd be a multiplayer game.
Yeah, we're thinking kind of in the vein of what we think Suicide Squad is trying to do.
You know what? A game where you play as the Flash's Rogues Gallery. Because the Flash Rogues are all friends. And, like, if you play as, like, Captain Boomerang and Captain Cold and Mirror Master and Weather Wizard and the Trickster, and like you get a party of them, you just go around committing crimes and like looting banks and jewelry stores and shit, all while avoiding the Flash and Impulse and Kid Flash.
And he's like he's like the Mr. X or something. He's like the tyrant.
Yes.
He's like always there.
Yes, like that's a good idea. That would be
and you
cool.
Can't really fight him. You just have to avoid him.
Yes, exactly. Gavin Guidry, illustrator on DC's Superman 78, The Metal Curtain, on sale now. You work for DC Comics. Go tell them.
Go tell them.
You can take credit for it. You can take credit for it, man.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, I really want to know what happened here. Like, somebody obviously pitched this, but then how did it become what it is now? I can't imagine Suicide Squad started as a looter-based.
I guarantee you, it started off like it probably started off the way all these games start off. It started off as one thing. It started off as a regular ass video game, and then somebody up high said, "Hey, it has to be a live service looter shooter."
Yeah.
Does it happen with Avengers? It guarantee it happened with this.
We need to squeeze more money out of this. Anyway, DICE Awards.
Yes.
Remember those? Now, everybody who complained about the Game Awards, about how cheesy it is, and about how they didn't give a lot of time for developers to talk, should watch the DICE Awards.
Time to put your money where your mouths are. The Academy of Interactive Arts and Science has released its list of nominees for the 27th Annual DICE Awards. The nominations include several major releases that have appeared in a roster of previous award shows, including the Game Awards and the New York Game Awards. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 has netted the highest number of nominations with 9, followed by Alan Wake 2 with 8, and Baldur's Gate 3 with 7.
A little bit different from the Game Awards.
I'm very much surprised.
Yeah, I would think that this Spider-Man 2, I mean, the DICE Awards, I thought was more developer focused and like artsy. You know, they like appreciated things that are different a little more. Having Spider-Man 2 be the most nominations is weird.
I feel like that might be because Spider-Man 2 on a technical level is very impressive. Like what they're able to do in an open world with the way the fast travel works, and like just how much content there is in that game they were able to shove in that game.
I've got to say, since Baldur's Gate 3 has won all of these awards, I have since played Baldur's Gate 3, and I got to tell you, I don't know what the fuck is everybody going on about. This game it's fine. It throws you in.
Yeah.
There's a million things on the screen, a million things you can press, and a million things to do, and it doesn't tell you how to do anything.
Okay.
Which I guess people appreciate, but man, I thought I had one attack for like a long time, and then I realized there's a sub menu where you get all these other attacks.
Okay.
That's just one of the, things with the game. It's a good game,
right?
But like, people went fucking nuts over this thing.
Have you fucked the bear yet?
I have not fucked the bear yet.
Maybe you need to fuck the bear and it'll change your opinion.
Probably, I haven't gotten far enough to fuck the bear, so that's probably. I haven't gotten far enough to fuck anything, really.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't.
I assumed you could just do that right out the gate.
Yeah, well, I did get to pick my character's cock.
Okay.
So that was fun. Mm-hmm. I spent like 2 hours making my character.
Yeah.
But then I started playing the game, and I was like, what is everybody on about? Anyway.
So I don't know if we want to go through all the awards, the nominations.
Just go through the top couple.
We'll just do Game of the Year. It's Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cocoon, Spider-Man 2, and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
So Cocoon is the interesting one there.
Yes.
What did that replace in the... These are all
Resident Evil 4.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
They probably decided that does not count.
Yeah.
Outstanding achievement for an independent game: Cocoon, Dredge, El Paso, Elsewhere, 30 Suitors.
Thirsty Suitors.
Thirsty Suitors. And Venba, again, Pizza Tower getting snubbed. Maybe Pizza Tower didn't count.
Maybe Pizza Tower's not a good game.
Fuck you. I think Pizza Tower might have missed the cutoff.
Maybe.
Because it came out early last year. Outstanding achievement in story, you got Alan Wake 2, Hogwarts Legacy. Spider-Man 2, The Finals. Wow, what a great story. And Tears of the Kingdom, which also did not have a good story. Baldur's Gate should be there.
Well, Baldur's Gate is in game direction along with Cocoon, Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay. Online game of the year, I'm skipping around. Modern Warfare 3, which I guess is the same as Warzone. Diablo 4 Omega Strikers, Street Fighter 6 The Finals. Okay. The Finals came out late. I think they missed the cutoff for the Game Awards.
Action Game of the Year: Armored Core 6, Dead Space, Hi-Fi Rush, Spider-Man 2, Remnant 2.
Okay.
So that's our first remake right there. It's Dead Space. Not the, by all accounts, better remake.
But this is a different game.
Right. Yeah. Is it though? Dead Space?
I don't know. It felt different. It felt more different than the Resident Evil 4 remake to me. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
I guess everything looks about the same.
Fighting Game of the Year: Grand Blue Fantasy versus Mortal Kombat 1, Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl 2, Pocket Bravery, Street Fighter 6.
I mean, how could it not be Street Fighter 6?
I mean, Nickelodeon's right there.
Nickelodeon's right there, and everybody knows it is better than Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Some YouTube channel titles will tell you with a little question mark cheekily put on the end there.
Sports Game of the Year: EA Sports FC 24, MLB The Show 23, WWE 2K 23. Not a single racing game in there.
Oh, okay. All right. So when is that? When is the DICE Awards?
The DICE Awards are... okay. The award show itself will be hosted by Greg Miller and Stella Chung and airs on February 15th.
Okay. That's a while.
Yeah.
So a whole month from now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Last news. Capcom adds new DRM. Everybody loves when there's DRM.
And they're adding it to old games.
That sucks.
Capcom has been adding file protection software to its back catalog of games on Steam, seemingly as a part of the company's efforts to crack down on piracy, but also on PC mods, which the company claims are no different than cheats for its games. While the addition of the software called Enigma Protector to Capcom's games has been going on for months, Steam users say the issues came to a head earlier this month when the publisher updated its 2013 Resident Evil Revelations on PC. That update caused noticeable performance issues, according to players, and Capcom quickly reverted the change, but Capcom said in an update on Steam that it plans to re-release that update. Users on Steam have since pushed back on this, adding mostly negative reviews to Resident Evil Revelations. Many reviews cite the mod blocking DRM as primary factor in the negative reviews. Enigma Protector is a third-party software package designed to help protect executable files from user attempts at hacking, analysis, modification, and disassembly. In practice, the software helps to block game mods in Capcom games. Capcom has identified mods as an issue with its games in recent months. In October, the developers of Capcom's RE engine, the game software that powers games like Street Fighter 6, Monster Hunter Rise, and the Resident Evil series, said that mods can cause reputational damage and become a burden on customer support. The image of a product is tarnished when mods are released that violate public order and morals without permission, Capcom developer said in a YouTube video about anti-cheat and anti-piracy measures for its in-house development. Mods can be mistaken for legitimate implementations and can cause bad publicity.
Fuck you. Because that's the best part of having an old game.
Yeah.
If a game's too old, like, you keep the community alive by having mods.
I guarantee you Capcom is not supporting Resident Evil Revelations anymore. Yeah. And it's probably the mod community that is doing things like adding quality of life improvements, or even like, fun little things like giving Chris a new outfit.
That's the one.
You know what?
When Resident Evil 4 came out, it immediately got modded with Sexy Leon.
Yes.
So that, I guess they're saying that's bad publicity. Hey man, no it wasn't.
No it wasn't.
People wanted Resident Evil real bad when that came out.
I just imagining one of these Capcom executives like getting a video of like when Resident Evil 2 came out and they replaced Mr. X with Thomas the Tank Engine, and he was so appalled. Yep. He's like, we must stop this from happening.
Yeah, this is not great. People also don't like DRM because it sometimes affects the performance of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know how this specific DRM, I've never heard of Enigma Protector before.
Me neither.
It's a third-party thing. It's not an internal Capcom thing. It probably does have some sort of impact on performance, but these are old games, so it shouldn't matter that much. But putting DRM on old games feels weird. Because that's how you keep a game alive, is you let people mess around with it. Also, you're not selling that much of this stuff. What do you care if people are like, fucking around with them? You want people to fuck around with them, so you'll sell more of it. Anyway, I think that's it.
Yes.
That's all the news. Time for a very, very special Tweet of the Week.
Tweet of the Week! Tweet of the Week! Tweet of the Week!
This is by Chris Wilson, who I think is Cyanide and Happiness. Yeah. Stuck in my head all day. Secret New York Jewish tunnels. I was enthralled by this. When I heard the news of this.
Yeah, I just heard about this.
I was really into the lore.
Yeah.
But, hey, Mad Cats just DM'd me back.
Oh boy.
They said, I think we still have it.
Oh boy. Breaking news here on the WULFF Den Podcast.
I'm not going to read the DMs any further.
Yeah.
I'll try to get like an official statement out of them before I leak all of our DMs. But that's interesting.
Yes.
Anyway, back to the secret New York Jewish tunnels. When I saw all this go around I was enthralled because I used to live there.
Yeah.
And I was very confused by the happenings with these secret underground Jewish tunnels. Because if you don't know, in Williamsburg, there is an area that is all Hasidic Jewish people. It's like you're going into Little Israel. And they had like a tunnel system, which is very confusing. It seems like what happened was there's like this like place of worship that was very special to them, and they were expanding it underneath. There was a couple of young Jewish people who were expanding it underneath illegally, and then they got in trouble, and they were protesting by not letting them fill up the holes that they just built. Very strange. But yes. A lot funnier when you say it to the tune of the Ninja Turtles. Anyway, you're going to be on Kotaku tomorrow, Bob. Video Game Insider confirms ownership of GameShark. Yeah, please don't clip around this where we talk about the secret underground Jewish tunnels at the same time. Anyway, we're going to talk to you people real quick.
If I remember to bring up Discord, we can talk to people who have comments on last week's WULFF Den Podcast over on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/WULFF Den Podcast.
We got Thrive5462, who says the Samsung micro LED transparent screen would be sick in a vehicle. Oh God. No, it wouldn't. You could see your speed on the windshield, etc. Okay, fine.
That is kind of like in Children of Men, all the cars had like the information like on the window itself, and in the scene where like they're throwing shit at the car, like hazard warnings come up. It's like, hey, there's a rock's coming.
There were cars that had like the speedometer like projected onto the windshield, but I don't know what the regulations are. I mean, you can have stickers on the windshield. You can have your registration on the windshield.
Yeah, but it's got to be like out of the way, like unobstructive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind looking down like this on my speedometer. It's not really like that much. Anyway, nameless. Oh, you know what would be cool though? If you could project on screen like turn right, and it's like that's the way to go.
Yes.
That'd be because like I do get fucked pretty frequently. Like I want the Forza lines. You know how you're playing Forza and you get the line like where to go? That'd be great.
Yeah.
There's one turn going into from Long Island into Brooklyn where it says keep right, and then you immediately have to keep left.
Yeah.
It's like keep right to stay on like the Throgsnecker. I don't know what it is. Keep right, and then it immediately is keep left, and it fucks you every time. So that'd be great if I could do that. Anyway, Nameless X Silent says, I only eat the chocolate half.
Of a black and white cookie.
Look to the cookie. No Bob 94 says the future of Xbox is Google Stadia. $100 stream Xbox that includes an Xbox controller, $15 a month. What? The future of Xbox. Oh,
he's trying to say like Xbox should just turn into Google Stadia.
Not that they will turn into Google Stadia, but they might have a streaming only box.
Yes,
they wanted. They tried
it. They tried to do it, but it was too expensive for them. So,
yes, but I don't think that they shelved it. But I don't think that's out of the cards for them. I think that that's something in the future that they might want to do.
Definitely.
I think they wanted it to be $150, and they couldn't keep it under that.
They wanted to be. Phil Spencer said it couldn't be more than $120.
Oh, okay.
And they couldn't. He wanted it to be $100 ideally, but he wouldn't budge at $120.
It probably also has to come with a controller.
That was the big issue.
Yeah.
He's like, it has to come with a controller.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. AKA Just Joe says, I don't think these transparent TVs will ever be for consumers or in the home. I think they will be for commerce, so we will have adverts on every piece of glass when walking through cities. I do think it will be almost entirely
commercial use.
But I think that the LG ones specifically will be in some rich people's homes to be like a look at me, look what I have kind of thing. It'll be like an interior decorator will be doing things for rich people and will use that in their houses, and the other rich people will be like, oh my god, it's so cool, I can show this to all my friends.
Yeah,
but no one will actually care or want it. Charlie Fenn says, I know you forgot you are on Audible a lot, so I'll just say I'm responsible for keeping that alive. As I just got my 2023 statistics through, I listen on here most of the time, here meaning YouTube, but if I know I'm going somewhere where my phone data isn't great or I'm just at the gym listening, then I tend to use their download feature and listen through them. It looks like I did that a lot last year. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good that that's an option.
Yes.
If you have an Audible subscription, I guess, because you can do that on YouTube, but you need premium.
Yeah.
So wherever it's easiest for you to watch.
We're everywhere.
Is there a place you would like to watch this that you can watch other podcasts but currently can't watch this one?
If we're not on your preferred podcast service, at me on Twitter, WULFF damn it, and I will look into it.
Yes. His name is WULFF damn it, not WULFF damn it.
Yes.
Yeah, that wasn't an exclamation, that was his full name.
Yes.
Upload to Pornhub, says NTUG.
Okay.
They got a good CPM.
They do.
I do have a friend who started a YouTube channel a long time ago. A competing YouTube channel.
Okay.
I was trying to do a lot of the same things that we do. And they weren't doing very good on YouTube, and they started uploading to Pornhub. Just to imagine like one of our videos just on Pornhub, and it did very well. And all of the comments were totally normal comments, like as if they uploaded on YouTube.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something to it.
Maybe.
Anyway, we're in the chat now.
Yes.
Both chats, 2 chats.
Oh. Oh wait, I just saw it.
You can also put the RSS feed link so we can add it ourselves.
That is true.
That's got to be available. Yeah. That's available somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd have to go into Spotify, find it.
Don't we have it somewhere? I feel like
I don't know.
Like that should be easy to get. It might be in the description. No. We still have a SoundCloud.
Yes. That's for the old podcast.
We gotta change that. I have old podcast links in the description of the YouTube video.
Great.
Oh, that's because these are live streams.
Okay.
All right. So what about if I go to the? No, these are also old. Okay, I gotta change all the. How come nobody fucking told me to change the links in the description? I'll do that. And then also, yeah, give me the RSS feed link, and I'll just put it in the description of the YouTube video. There's a GBA SP speedometer. It's for a moped, isn't it? It's like a moped that like connects to a game. Elliot has a video.
I gotta check that out.
Can we get Wolf Den in Japanese on the mugs? No, I don't want that. Bob, should I swap my Joy-Con shells? If you're not afraid to break them. Because you might break them.
And that's why I'm afraid to do it.
Major UK game retailer is not selling used games anymore.
Yeah.
Edward Bova linked. That's weird because that's how they make money.
Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, I wasn't sure whether or not to talk about it. So Game, which is basically the UK equivalent of like GameStop, they're a big video game retailer and they also deal in buying and selling used games. They're not going to do pre-owned games anymore.
It says here pre-owned will still be available in our standalone stores across the UK while stock lasts.
Yeah.
And Game Elite will still be available until the end of the summer.
It also says we will be phasing out the trade-in, pre-owned, and Game Elite offerings in the UK over the coming months.
So what's their focus now?
I guess just regular game sales.
They don't make any money on it.
Eurogamer understands that the move has been prompted by the growing number of game outlets now located within Sports Direct stores, which require a separate till that tracks the large back catalog of items the chain currently accepts for trade-ins. Games till software remains distinct from the software used by Sports Direct and also requires training for shop staffers to deal with. Removing this would streamline the operations further. Rather than undertake a costly process of merging systems in an age of declining physical game sales.
That's weird because like that's your main moneymaker. You would think they would want to put effort into that.
I mean, it sounds like their parent company wants like to streamline like their cataloging software, and so just start phasing out the trade-in process because that's different from all the other stores that you.
My mind went to all the regulations that go on with like running a pawn shop because that's what you're essentially doing,
right?
You're running a pawn shop,
yeah.
But I feel like that you would want to try to figure that out, unless their main moneymaker might be something else. Then maybe it's different than GameStop. We have another store called CEX that's a lot more like GameStop. Game sells more merch for the games than actual games these days. That's kind of like what GameStop these days is
now, yeah.
Yeah. Because used game sales has been declining because people just buy them digitally. What else? Someone on Spallway's video posted that's more the demise of the store game than physical media dying itself. Yeah, no, I understand
I would agree with that. Although somebody posted on Twitter, I forgot who it was. They showed a Best Buy And Best Buy has like started to phase out like their physical movies and CDs and like music CDs. And one store apparently is also phasing out physical games as well. Mm-hmm. Like the game section was just empty.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think that these companies are looking at their numbers and seeing that it's not worth it in some way. So maybe like the parent company of game is like, nah, like we don't care about game enough to figure this out. Z Bob in the YouTube chat says Italian sandwich or turkey. It depends on the place.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get an Italian sandwich and sometimes I'll get a turkey sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like mayo though.
Yeah.
So sometimes the Italian sandwich is the way to go. Also, when you get a fucking sandwich and there's any sort of sauce on it at all, it's always just covered in sauce.
It's always too much.
I hate that. Some people really like just having a gluttonous amount of sauce.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Yeah. I want the lightest little drizzle. I'll have any sauce if it's just a little bit. But the problem is it's never a little bit.
Unless the sandwich sucks. And then sauce can go a long way of like masking the flavor.
Yeah, but it's got to be good sauce, not mayo.
Yeah.
God. In the 45 years that I've spent on this world, I've never owned a Mad Catz controller. That's impossible.
Yeah.
Aren't you vegan?
It's a good joke. It
that's an old throwback joke. Yeah. I don't live in Williamsburg anymore. What else can we talk about? Mecha Dragon, thanks for the 21 months. My streak is old enough to drink now. That's months. More room for the smart fridges and Dyson vacuums at Best Buy.
Yeah.
I went to buy something at Best Buy. Was it a vacuum? I went to buy something and they laughed at me. It was like something really, was it an air purifier? It was like something like very like you would think Best Buy would have it, and they have it online. And then we just like, well, we'll just go to the store and check it out. And we went. It was something like a vacuum cleaner. They're like, we don't have those.
Yeah.
I think it was a vacuum. They're like, yeah, we don't have that.
Wow.
They went, haha, yeah, we don't got that. He didn't even look or anything. And I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Really?
I went to Best Buy one time because I wanted to buy a Blu-ray, and I saw online that they had it. And I went to the store and I didn't see it on the shelf. And so some guy who wasn't wearing a Best Buy shirt said, yo, man, can I help you find something? I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for this. Like, all right, let's go find it. No, we don't have it. And he walked away. So what I did was, I'm like, all right, enough of this. I went online. It said it's in stock. So I just bought it on my phone and said, it'll be ready in 15 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm waiting in the store for an extra 15 minutes while they go find it in the back and then bring it to the front.
So the guy lied.
Yes.
The guy, well, but also, did he work there?
I don't know. To this day, I don't know.
It could have just been a guy.
Yeah.
Have you seen the whole MiG Switch not shipping with the dumper situation? No. I have not, and that will make me mad because I pre-ordered it from a website that said it would ship with the dumper.
Yeah.
So that would be a lie. I pre-ordered it from some shady website. I don't know if I'm going to get it.
I feel like the only way to buy that thing is to buy it from a shady website.
Yeah. I would feel more comfortable getting it from AliExpress, but even that's a shady website. So, all right. I go to Best Buy and get harassed by Dare people out front. That's the Best Buy experience. I've never seen a Dare person. I don't even. When is the last time you've seen a Dare person?
What is this? 1988?
We would see the Power Rangers recruiting for karate.
Yeah. That was fun.
All right. That's all. Thank you for hanging out, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for chatting with us. As always, the WULFF DEN Podcast is every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on twitch.tv/WULFFDEN or youtube.com/WULFFDEN Podcast. But if you can't make the show for any reason at all, it always goes up as an archive version over on youtube.com/WULFFDEN Podcast. So you can go and check us out on demand whenever you want. If you prefer to listen to us rather than watch us, you can do that as well because we're also an audio podcast on any and every audio podcast service, be it Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts, Audible.com. No matter where you get the show from, folks, please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us because that helps us with placement on all those respective platforms.
Thanks, guys. I'm currently trying to find somebody to raid. You guys would stop streaming. Anyway, I'll be back on Thursday, hopefully. Pal World comes out this week.
Does it?
Yeah. The Pokemon with guns game.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to play that, but I think it comes out Friday, and and it's coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
I don't even gotta buy it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not gonna get it early or anything. I do want to dabble in it, and if I don't have to pay for it, that's great. I'm rating Jackson. I don't know what the hell he's playing. Playing Rayman Kart.
Okay.
Look at this.
Oh yeah.
Hidden gem of mods for Mario Kart. Okay.
Oh.
Go watch him play Rayman Kart. See you later. Bye.
Bye.